What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. Today it is time for the second part of the round of 16 predictions for the World Cup. Now, at the time of recording this, none of the round of 16 games have kicked off. It's happening in a few hours, and I cannot wait. We've got some really tasty fixtures, and of course, there were a few little upsets for some teams getting eliminated in the groups, and some teams making it all the way. So, without further ado, be sure to drop a like on this video, be sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any of the videos, and leave your predictions down in the comments below. Obviously, with there only being 4 games left in the round of 16 for me to predict on this channel, it will be another shorter video, but I do have a tip for each game that you could back if you so desire. Kicking off, the first one is Japan against Croatia. Now, one thing and one reason why I'm a little bit torn on this is the way Super Brew handle their predictions. They basically take it into account after extra time. So if a team draws at 90 minutes, but then a team wins in extra time, that's the prediction that they base your scores off of. So whereas the betting market, they, unless you specify otherwise, they take your prediction and your result after 90 minutes. So after 90 minutes, Japan-Croatia, I would go 1-1. But something's telling me 1-1 full time and then Croatia win in extra time. And for me to get that prediction right, I'd have to go 2-1 on the website or just Croatia to win in some way. Because if they win after extra time, even though they've drawn in the full time, I wouldn't get the prediction points for correctly predicting the draw. So it's a bit of a weird one. So I'm going to stick with 1-1 and hope that it goes to penalties, but I'm fairly certain that I just feel maybe it's just me being an English fan, having seen it before. I just think maybe in the latter stages, extra time, Croatia, they'd be able to just edge it. But I mean, Japan, they've been phenomenal this tournament. I've been singing their praises since the beginning, and what a way to top their group with that contentious goal, which is a goal. It should have stood, right? The ball wasn't fully over the line. So anyway, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for the purpose of this video in 90 minutes. If there's an extra time winner, then so be it. I'd lose points on the predictor, but I'd still get the draw prediction. My tip is actually both teams to score at 2. I know Croatia have had not the highest scoring games, but I think Japan, they're going to score a goal, right? They've scored twice against Spain and Germany. They didn't score against Costa Rica, but I think both teams are quite equal. I think the odds suggest that Croatia are the favourites, which I would say is about fair enough, but I think Japan could potentially surprise some people. So with that being said, and given the way they've scored goals this tournament, I'm going to give Japan a goal, and I don't see Japan beating Croatia to 0. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw and both teams to score. Next up, it's Brazil up against South Korea. Now, they recently played each other not too long ago, and Brazil won 5-1. I do think South Korea can score, but I'm going to go for a high-scoring 3-1 win to Brazil. I know Brazil lost to Cameroon, but at the end of the day, one, they fielded their second team, which was, no joke, about as strong as their first team. And although they lost 1-0, they had so many chances. I thought Martinelli looked absolutely unreal, and they could have easily won that. Well, they could have won it 3-1. I think the XG was about 3-1 to Brazil, and yeah, I'm gonna go for a 3-1 win to Brazil. My tip here is over 2.5 goals at 1.72. I think if you lump in a Brazil win, Brazil and over 2.5 goals, that would get you odds of around evens again. But we've seen crazy things happen in this World Cup, and if South Korea are going to knock Brazil out, they're going to need to score at least 2 goals. So I would say backing over 2.5 goals and leaving the result out of it allows for any sort of upset, because like I said, South Korea aren't going to win 1 or 2-0, and if there's an upset any other way and South Korea win, there'd have to be a lot of goals. If there's a high scoring draw, same again. If Brazil play as well as we know Brazil can do, I think there'll be a lot of goals as well. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Brazil. My tip is over 2.5 goals at 1.72. After that, Morocco up against Spain. I think this is going to be quite low scoring. I've been very impressed with Morocco. They've been very solid defensively, and Spain, when they need to be, have been solid defensively as well, conceding 1 goal to albeit a good German team in terms of attacking prowess. Germany had the most XG created out of anyone in the group stage. They won all their games on XG. They just can't really defend, and they just sort of bottled it. But when Spain played Germany, they only let in 1 goal, and obviously against Costa Rica, they didn't concede any chances at all. And then they played Japan, where they didn't need to win, and so it's hard to judge on that game. Morocco equally have played very well this tournament, so I'm going to go low scoring. Hard to look past Spain though. As good as they have looked, Morocco, I just think Spain are going to win this one, so I'm going for a 1-0 win. My tip is Spain to win at over 1.5. I think that's a decent one. You could perhaps add that to a little a little double there, I think, perhaps, with Spain to win and over 2.5 goals in this game. Odds of probably around 2.3. I think that would be pretty cool, and it's definitely worth a shout. After that, it's the final game, and you can see my previous picks there, which haven't obviously happened yet. Portugal up against Switzerland. Switzerland-Serbia. What an absolutely insane game that turned out to be. I do think Portugal are going to win this. It's very difficult to see otherwise. I'm going to give Switzerland a goal, though. I hope Switzerland take the positives from their last group stage game and don't play so defensively, but I understand Switzerland going through from the round of 16 to probably the end of the tournament. They're going into these ties as the underdog, so you do perhaps need to try and, I'd say, approach this a little bit more cautiously and try and keep it low scoring and as close together for as long as possible, so that way you have a chance to perhaps nick it in some sort of way, sort of like Cameroon did against Brazil, albeit Brazil spurned a few chances. So I'm not going to go low scoring, though. I think the Portuguese quality is just too good, so I am actually going to go for a 2-1 win. It could be 1-0. I don't see Portugal failing to beat Switzerland in the 90 minutes. That's my main takeaway, and the value is really, really good. 1.84 for Portugal to win. So I think there's a lot of value here. Obviously, the tip I'm least confident on, both teams to score Japan, Croatia. When you look at the goals market in the World Cup, it's been a bit topsy-turvy and hard to predict. But I think in Brazil, Spain, and Portugal, you have three very good teams who you can back fairly well. So I would say perhaps Brazil, I would maybe over 2.5 goals there, or maybe just Brazil -1. Have a look at either. Brazil -1 is probably about 1.8, so similar odds to over 2.5. Spain to win at 1.53, that's good enough. And then Portugal to win, you could put them in a little treble, and I think you can't go too far wrong there. So that is going to do it for my round of 16 predictions. The next video will, of course, be quarterfinals. If you did enjoy this video, please do drop a like. I cannot wait to watch the games and get started. That is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.